Hello everybody, I hope you're all well. We've got a new recipe for you today. So we're going to do a bit of baking today. We're going to make some chocolate chip cookies. Alright, so as usual, when we get started, this is what you're going to need. So if I move the camera so you can see, you're going to need the following. You're going to need butter, and the amounts at the start of the video, so rewind back to check. You're going to need butter, you're going to need sugar, golden caster sugar I've got here, but you can use normal white caster sugar, either is fine. Plain flour, 1 egg, and vanilla extract. Okay, first thing you need to do is you need to get everything weighed out, okay, so you can just quickly go through the recipe as we do it. Get yourself a baking tray, get yourself greaseproof paper on there and get it ready. Get your oven on, 190 degrees, okay, 170 if you've got a fan oven, 5 if you've got a gas oven, and then I'm going to show you how to prepare your chocolate, because that is quite an important part of chocolate chip cookies. So you can buy any type of chocolate you want for this. This is just normal milk chocolate, but if you want to put all the flavoured chocolates in that you can get at the supermarket, experiment. Feel free to do what you like. If you want to put in some chopped nuts as well to make them chocolate chip nut cookies, feel free to do that as well. Raisins are also good. And you can also buy chocolate chips, which will save you the hassle of doing this bit. And what you need to do, get yourself a sturdy knife, and then just simply press down and cut off chunks of each one. Don't be neat. Everyone likes a good chunk of chocolate in the cookie, and just keep doing that until it all disintegrates into chunks like that, and do the entire bar. Okay, so you can see I've got the chocolate all done and ready to go. So it's very, very simple. There's a couple of stages to this recipe that you need to do. The first one involves the butter and sugar. A key point, if your butter just come out of the fridge, then you need to make sure it's soft. So leave it out for an hour before you start cooking, or in the microwave for 20 seconds. Don't put it into liquid, otherwise it won't work. So that needs to go into your bowl. You see mine's quite soft. And as well as that, you need to add your sugar to the bowl. Now you've got a couple of options depending on what you've got available to you. The slow option, wooden spoon, and you beat it up until it's creamy, or you do what I prefer to do and cheat and use the old hand whisk. So just quickly incorporate it until it becomes a nice creamy soft mixture and the sugar vanishes. It will not take long if you've got one of these. If you've got a wooden spoon, it might take a little bit longer. And if you've not softened your butter, it's going to take even longer than that. Okay? Make sure this is nice and soft. It will not take long. There you go, less than 30 seconds. So that's what it should look like. Alright, okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add the vanilla extract. So we need about a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more into it. What you can do is use the cap, so you just tip it in, then put 2 capfuls in, straight in, and then we're going to add the egg. So you can crack it inside the bowl or use a knife depending on what method you prefer. But in you go. And then, using the trusty mixer again, and incorporate the egg. Now it might look as if it's split at this point. If it looks like it's going a bit weird, don't worry. Mine hasn't, so I can't show you what a split one looks like. But if it does split, the next stage will sort that, so don't worry about it, okay? Okay, next we're going to add the flour. Okay, so the flour goes in a little bit at a time, and I'm going to use the traditional method this time. I'm going to have half of the flour, and I'm just going to stir it in. A little bit at a time. So once you've got one half incorporated, then you can have the next half. And try and keep the flour in the bowl, mine's going to do it. Okay, so now you should have a mixture that looks a bit like that. If it is really, really thick and hard to move, add a tablespoon or two of milk, which will just thin it down and make it a little bit easier for you. Once you've done that, your chocolate chips go in. When you add them, try not to break them up or try not to disintegrate them, but you should be alright. And then just mix up the mixture as best you can and incorporate it. And once it's incorporated, you should have a mixture that looks like that. Try your very best not to eat it all, okay? Alright, so now you should have a tray ready. Your oven should be hot and ready to go. What you need is a teaspoon. Please do not use, well, you can use a tablespoon, it's your call. If you want to make really large ones, then that's fine, that's entirely up to you. But you're going to need to make a standard size cookie about that much, okay? Right, and what you need to do is not flatten it down. The oven will do that for you. You can do this with your hands as well, depending on how clean your hands are. If you want to stop them sticking, a little bit of flour on them as well, and just place something like that onto your baking tray. And then just keep doing that. You might need to use one more baking tray depending on the size you're using, or just multiple batches basically. Once one batch is cooked, cook another one. So about that, there's no need to be neat, that's all. But make sure you give them space to spread. So there's about half an inch gap, maybe an inch between each one, because they will melt and they'll spread, okay? And once you've done all that, place them in the oven. Place them in the oven for about 10 minutes, okay? I'm going to quickly finish off this tray and I'm going to put them in the oven. Okay, so I've finished my tray, as you can see. They're also nicely spread out. There's about an inch between them. Okay, so make sure they've got a chance to spread out. I've got about 15 on this tray, and I reckon I've got enough for another tray full. So you probably make about 30 decent sized biscuits. Or if you want to do one massive biscuit, then have a go, see what happens, but don't blame me if it messes up. Right, this now needs to go into the oven for about 10 minutes. You need to watch them. They do not take long to cook, they're very small. Once they start to change colour slightly, take them out of the oven. They will be soft. Alright, put them on a wire cooling rack once you take them out. Then they will harden up, or depending on how long you cook them for, they might stay a little bit soft if you're lucky. I like it, mine like that. But don't think they're undercooked if they're soft when they come out of the oven. They've got to set, okay? So straight in the oven, 10 minutes. Might take a little bit less, just keep an eye on them. Okay, so they've been in about 12-13 minutes because my oven's a little bit slow, but keep an eye on them. It might take a little bit less, a little bit longer than 10 minutes. It's up to you to call it, looking for the colour of them. So this is what you're after. After that nice little golden brown around the edge, okay? They will be quite soft now, so if I poke it, you'll see it's quite squishy. I'm going to let them set on there, then I'm going to get it on a cooling rack to cool down, okay? And you can see the spread, and I've just about positioned them properly so they don't spread into each other. If they do spread into each other, just separate them, no problem. And there you go, chocolate chip cookies. Enjoy.